Alright, you ever have some old grout you want removed from your old dirty bathtub? It's like this crap right here. You can see the old mildew and stuff building up. Just looks old and ugly. I'll tell you the best way to do it is to get one of these oscillating multi-tools right here. You know, these new kind of things. They really make it a lot easier than going and scraping all that stuff out. But you're going to need a different blade for this one, so I went and bought this this diamond tip blade right here. You want to get the diamond tip multi-tool blade. They make the half moon ones. I got the round one because it was cheaper, and I figured that, like, you know, it's got more edges to it, so I can rotate it around whenever one edge starts getting worn out. And they make the carbon edged ones, and those are all right too. They're a lot cheaper, but if you get the diamond tipped one, it's going to last a lot longer and hopefully get you through your job. You're also going to need some safety glasses, and you can see I got some earplugs right here. And it's going to make your life a lot easier than going and scraping it out manually with a chisel or a hammer or a screwdriver or something like that. So that's what you need. And here, let's get started. Another thing, if you're working around the sink like I am here, you don't want your pieces, your small parts, falling and going into the sink. So make sure you plug it up, block it somehow, anything. That's the worst disaster. If you got the tip that holds your bit on going down the sink like I almost just did, you really want to block that. And make sure that it's not going anywhere. Then you're going to put that back on, and that, and finger tighten it. See, it's not really going anywhere. And then you're going to take your hex key and tighten it. Next, you want to make sure you got your hearing protection in, because it does get loud, especially in the small spaces. So put that on. Put your safety glasses on. Make sure your tool's functioning. Then just go at it. You can see that really does make life so much easier. I mean, just in that little short bit I did right there, you can see how much grout came out just going down that line. You're going to have to go back and eventually scrape out a little of the extra spots here and there and go back over it once or twice, but without this tool, your life is going to be 5-hour misery. With this tool, you could probably knock this hole to about an hour, getting the grout out, another 30 minutes, putting the grout in. It's getting awfully dusty in here, so you might want to cover your mouth if you're prone for allergies or something like that, or just not used to it. It's getting really dusty. So you can see it's kind of a dirty job. Pretty filthy right now, but see, I got most of the old grout out from everywhere, and except for a few spots like this corner over here. There's really nothing you can do. Can't really get in there with that tool. So you're just gonna have to go in there by hand with a chisel and just manually scrape it out. You know, it takes some effort. It's kind of hard to do with one hand holding the camera, but just go in there and then scrape it out, and eventually you're gonna come to the parts like around this towel holder here. You're just gonna have to go in there and do the same thing, you know, and just manually scrape it out, and be careful not to pop off the towel holder. And you know, that's the tedious little parts that you got. And of course, every once in a while a towel will pop off if you're not careful. And so what you want to do is take this tile, if you can save it, scrape off all the stuff on the back and re-glue it on there. And you know, of course there's these other parts here. This still looks like total crap. You're just gonna have to go in there with the hammer and the chisel and, you know, scrape it out, clean it up, get to the point where it's deep enough groove so whenever you go back in there with your new grout, it'll fill it in and cover up all these little imperfections. But you really just want to get as much of that out of there as possible. And this is not a brand new tub, obviously. This is just a rental property tub. But all that dirtiness really does make a difference whether people want to rent it or not. And you know, it takes a lot of elbow grease to get this old caulking and old grout out, especially around the edges, like over here, and some weird spots. There's another piece of tile popped off I'm gonna have to replace, and inevitably you're gonna draw blood here and there. So it's not a crime scene, but it just goes to show you that it takes a little bit of effort, even with that oscillating tool, to get all the remaining tile out. Just need to go over it. Anything that's sticking out or refusing to cooperate, you need to get rid of. And then, you know, just make sure you only want to do this once. You don't have to come back. So make sure you do it right the first time and just take your time. And it'll all work out in the end. It always looks like a mess before the end. Another important thing you want to do is definitely remove all this old caulking that goes around the edge where the wall meets the tub. Some people just try to grout over it, but that's going to cause problems and look really crappy in the end if you don't just get rid of it. You know, the best way is to just, you know, go along the edge, scrape it all up, chisel or something like that. Get all the residue off you can, and especially along the sides here too, because you're going to want to re-grout in all this after you get all this old caulking out. It just makes it look that much better. And there you can see I got it all grouted in. All I gotta do is wait for it to dry and come back and clean up the rest of my mess. That's one thing about grouting. It's a dirty job.